All right. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you all for taking time out of your day to suss the run. I'm ins0mnia, and we have VSync on. Hang on one second. For those that don't know, this game is literally unplayable at low FPS, so that wouldn't have been good.
Man, it's really good that you can read Chinese like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, why do runners change the language if not to understand it better?
Yeah.
We are going to get underway. This is fresh registry, so I think there's one more menu. Yep. All right, and time will be as soon as we start to fade into King's Pass. I'll let you know when that is. So for those that don't know, Hollow Knight is a 2017 indie Metroidvania made by Team Cherry, a Adelaide-based game studio, and it is one of the most successful indie games of all time, and that is Time Star. Yeah, it is also a very good speed game. And today we are going to be speedrunning low percent, which is a lot less ran category than things like any percent, mainly because it is a lot harder. But I'm not going to let that stop us today. And where any percent and low percent differ is we have a couple of spots where we can just avoid getting certain completion percentage. However, one of those in particular, skipping the dash ability in the game, A, drastically slows us down, and B, means we have to do a lot of very hard skips and very hard boss fights. If you've played the game casually at all, you'll know the Watch a Night boss fight is quite difficult, and that's kind of turned up to 11 in this speedrun, so that'll be something to look out for, or dread if you're me. We're going to do a trick here called a inventory drop. So what we're doing here is just opening and closing our inventory, and what that does is it cancels out the hard fall animation in the game, and that saves us about 0.8 seconds each time. But you'll also see us doing it in long drops, and what that does is it uncaps our fall speed, so we fall much faster than the relatively low speed cap in the game.
You didn't talk to the boy.
You didn't
I
talk to
didn't.
Bug, run him down.
We are going to grab our first bit of the game's currency here, which is called Geo. We need 50 Geo really early on, and we're going to be doing that to unlock the Forgotten Crossroads stag, which is kind of like the quick travel function in the game, and we're going to be coming back to that later, so it's just an efficient piece of routing.
The nice thing about low percent is that low percent doesn't necessarily mean getting nothing to help us at all. Like some of the big things you'd think of actually count as a percent. So things like the charms in the game, upgrades to your character, or bosses are all considered percents. So yeah, things like stag stations don't count as a percentage, so we can freely get those. And things like the items that we pick up to get money don't count as a percent either, so we'll be utilizing those quite effectively.
And it is also very inconsistent with what actually gives you percent, because charms give you percent, but the collectible grubs in the game don't give you percent. It's very strange. And some bosses and abilities also give you 2% or multiple percent.
Yeah, I mean, the grub one, I feel like if each grub gave percent, we would just be here all day.
Yeah.
Plus, like, grubs give you, a certain number of grubs give you a chunk that therefore gives you percent, so it works out.
All right, and we just got that first stag that we were talking about. That cost 50 Geos, so we had just enough for that. I actually had one too few entering this room, but was able to just kill a Tick-Tick and Vengefly and get that last little one we needed. And we're now coming up to the first boss of the game, which is the False Knight. So there's actually a dev-intended shortcut to leave this boss after one cycle out of what would normally be 3. So we're definitely going to do that, and that actually skips the percentage completion point for doing False Knight. If it didn't, this run would be astronomically worse. We would have to do something called a shade skip 7 times, like nested shade skips basically, to try and skip the percentage that we will be able to avoid by collecting this ability that this boss gates. So it's very fortunate for us that that's the case, and it's pretty basic boss since this is meant to be one of the first accessible bosses.
And we kind of touched upon it earlier, but the game is run in Chinese when you are speedrunning it, mostly just for text box purposes. Just it's the fastest language that the text boxes come out in. So we won't actually be able to understand any of the game's narrative or dialogue that's happening.
I mean, it's best to experience the game and the lore yourself the first time through,
Yeah.
so I feel probably good that we're not spoiling stuff.
Well, that's still spoilers. They don't need to be narratives.
What do you
fair
mean?
enough.
This is my casual playthrough.
You're right, you are about to get a lot of achievements.
Exactly. I don't know, maybe Asti's played it before. I
Actually,
also
it's been run at PAX before, that might actually, yeah.
will just touch on the fact that I currently am at about 650 FPS. We had something called Reaver Tuner installed to cap the FPS. That didn't work.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Now, I have never... Oh, God. One of the things that are affected by FPS are the speed that flying enemies move at, like these Vengeflies, in this case their acceleration, and the distance these little guy here is called Boulder's roll. I have never seen a boulder roll this small a distance. Like, I don't even know how you get past that.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I'm... What is this? This is terrifying, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't get... Like, this won't be a recurring thing, really. It's a couple of things at the start, and I have no soul because I had to heal. So yeah, we're going to have probably about 20 seconds of just chaos here, but that should be about it for the run. Yeah, so this game is very finicky. Despite me having a 60 hertz monitor at home, I run the game at 250 FPS because this game sucks at low FPS because your inputs just don't work, and then at high FPS, enemies don't work and hit you and are terrible. So it's a very fine balancing act, and 250 is the number we've settled on for non-glitched runs, which we are doing today.
The amount of knockback that the knight takes as well when you take damage is also affected by FPS, if I'm not mistaken.
I've heard that before.
And that can mess up certain tricks. I don't remember if the version that we do in this route will be affected by that, but one way to find out, I suppose.
And thankfully we don't have to fight this boulder. We can do what is called the Boulder insta-kill, and that just parks the fireball hitbox right on top of the enemy and lets us get past without having to wait for it to spit a couple of children. And that there is a fireball skip. We're going to be seeing a few of these throughout the run. That is the easiest one we'll do by an astronomical amount. Like, it's all downhill from here.
Also, welcome to Green Path, the place where we ignore the main thing that you want to be here for.
Yes. So this is normally where you'd get the dash ability in the game. It's the second intended ability that you get. We're just not getting it. So we're going straight to the third ability, which is the Mantis Claw. The reason we're going to dash to get to Claw is that normally you need dash to get to Claw through the intended path. So we're going through here, and then we're going to do a terrible little skip called the Queen Station Fireball Skip, and then that gets us to where we normally would have been with the dash ability, and then we're going to compound on that further with a couple of more just awful skips. Yeah, this is not a beginner-friendly category. We've had people come out the gate and have this as their first run, and I respect the hell out of them for it, but if you want to have a good time speedrunning Hollow Knight, this probably isn't how you do it as a first run. Any percent and all skills are very beginner-friendly. Absolutely, relatively speaking,
This feels
as
like
well.
this feels like what you go to when you want to cry.
Yeah, or like if you've played a lot of the game's randomizer, where skips like this are kind of the focal point of it, then yeah, low percent, you might feel right at home. We're just waiting for a Duranda here since we got the bad cycle, and I don't have the soul to easily do the fireball skip.
I feel like he should have a name. What should we name him?
That one
Billy.
I actually don't
Billy?
think has a name. So we have a lot of just community named enemies. Like there is a leaping husk called Jennifer. There is a squib, which is kind of like the mosquito enemy in Green Path. We have one we call Eric.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
Eric.
I don't like Eric because if you're talking to him or fighting him, that means you've messed up. All right, this...
Speaking of not messing up.
First try.
Okay. I can breathe now. That is one of
4 now.
5 or so just terrible parts of the run. So that is a pretty hard skip in its own right. And then if you mess it up, you need to go and collect soul again. But that area we just came from, all the enemies die in 1 hit, so farming soul is really slow. So it loses like 40 seconds if you miss it.
Not only...
you just reset normally, but that I don't think they'd be too happy with me if I did that.
Not only do they die in 1 hit, they also leave a tracking explosion when you kill them in that previous area as well. So not only is it slow to get soul off of them, it's also incredibly dangerous because those explosions do 2 masks of damage.
I do not like the Uomas, I think they're called.
Umas.
Umas? Oh, are the Uomas the small ones? Or am I misreading?
So it's Umu, Uma, and then I don't know what the tiny ones are called. I play this game in Chinese.
We don't read the Hunter's Journal.
Yeah.
So much more.
I do know what these
Too much
enemies are
more.
called by the community. They're called the Owen Wilson mushrooms because they go, wow.
Wow. Wow.
The community, yeah, I will harp on about them a bit probably, just because they've been massively influential to myself and just like to the enjoyment of the speed game by a lot of people. Like, you talk to so many Hollow Knight runners and they're like, I'm only still doing this because of the community. Like, I hate this game. And depending on my day, sometimes I'll agree with them about the hating the game part. But it is a very good game and a very good speed game.
I don't know.
I don't
I don't
wanna
know
look-
if I agree with
Celeste.
this.
Okay,
Oi!
Celeste.
No, I mean, I was oohing at the lack of the safety bench.
Yeah,
but
I was reacting to that as well.
Yeah,
it's just
so
it's fine. You'll just be a god gamer and you won't mess up.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't know if I agree with this play.
I got
It's fine.
5 or skip first try.
Was that okay?
I
So
don't think that's proportionate.
the reason we're talking about this is that there's an upcoming trick that if she fails, we will have to spend 6 minutes having to do it again.
Yeah.
If she had taken that safety bench, it would have only been about 2 minutes.
No, yeah.
So, look,
Depending on if I hit
just-
this skip or not will directly influence how cocky I am about skipping that bench.
Just
Alright,
don't
so
mess
this
up.
is Explosion Pogo, but done itemless because... Sorry, dashless. Not done dashless. That's fine, we didn't get hit, so we don't lose health, because the explosion does 2 damage. Alright, a little late there. That's fine. Again, this is 7 seconds. I'm erring on the side of caution because I don't want to lose the run. This is very fine. It's way harder than with dash because horizontal alignment all of a sudden matters. There we go. So that's something patched out on the current patches of the game. You can't
Technically.
pogo the explosion. You can technically still do it, but it is god awful,
Alright.
like terrible. And
Now
then
let's
this
see.
is straight into another skip. This one you can't retry, so I'm going to be very conservative with my little man.
And we're
No.
good.
Nice!
Yeah.
Now we don't waste
God.
6 minutes.
Okay.
You have no clue how hard my heart has been.
Alright. There's only 3 things left now that are bad, and none of them are as bad as that. So that, where we got the Vengeful Spirit ability, which was after the first boss, we would have had to go all the way back to that to give you some frame of reference. So it's not good at all. We're a little low on Geo. We want 250 to buy the Distant Village Stag, and we're on 197. We have 30 odd coming up from a Hava Catcher, which is an enemy we can just kill on the way without losing any real time. And then we have several smaller enemies that I can elect to kill depending on how I am on Geo. So we should be fine.
Which one's the catcher? I don't know that enemy name.
So you know the enemies near the tram pass that shoot the little like silverfish things?
Yep. What are they called again? Like cave
Dirt carvers.
Dirt
yeah.
carvers.
So the carver hatches are just the ones that spew them out. They look like flying shrimp.
I remember them, yeah.
And we kind of touched upon it a little bit just to go. But so both being able to pogo off the actual explosion, as well as certain things like the inventory drop, and there's the Boulder quick kill are kind of only possible as simple as they are right now on a down-patched version of the game. The inventory drop is still possible on current patches, but it's totally differently executed.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's a physics frame it's like a physics frame perfect trick rather than just press it literally whenever you're in midair. It's entirely different.
I was about because I think you have to open inventory on like the first frame that you were airborne after
Pretty much,
you leave a ledge,
Yeah,
right?
it's the first physics frame, so it's locked at the 50th of a second. Otherwise, yeah, the game would suck. Well, thankfully,
But also, the game would suck because you're playing 1-4-3-2, and
I'm not gonna lie, current patch is pretty based. So most
agree to
games
disagree.
have like an optimal patch, and then that's just the one people play. Hollow Knight,
yeah, it's 1-2-2-1.
Not,
this
not
patch
Celestron
is
running on
not
current patch.
optimized at all. Like,
I'm gonna get a lot of hate from certain people by
It
saying 1-2-2-1 is
doesn't
better.
run basically unless you have a very good computer. Whereas the current patch is far more optimized. Like, it'll run on a Nintendo Switch without blowing it up.
I think that's a good metric of how optimized a game is.
Well, I think before they optimized it for current patch, this patch 1.2.2.1 got about 2 or 3 FPS on the Switch, whereas now it, current patch gets 60. So it means that it's just a lot more accessible, and the accessibility of the game is one of its main selling points. This was my first speed game, and I'm managing. Yeah,
also,
so
arachnophobia warning.
Oh
Yeah, so this is Deep Nest. Deep Nest is awful. Unfortunately, we will be spending a little bit more time in here. We do need to get one major and one kind of minor progression item here.
Thankfully, you won't see much more of Deep Nest.
Oh no. How soon until we get to Dark Deep Nest?
Pretty much as soon as we pick up Tramp Pass.
Oh
40
god.
seconds, yeah.
So Deep Nest is meant to be one of the areas that you access a little bit later in the game, or at least the areas that we're about to go to are meant to be accessed a little bit later in the game, when you have the ability to effectively see in the dark with the use of a lantern.
We can't get that.
I believe we can get that, and it's not a percent.
What?
We actually get it later in the run.
Yeah.
Just
but
it's
That's
not
terrible.
optimal to
it's
get
not
it
optimal now because it costs a lot of geo, and at the point that we are now, we just do not have the geo for it, as well as be completely out of the way to get it. So we just go through Deep Nest without being able to see it, and that is probably as terrifying as it may sound.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was a percent. I was completely wrong on that.
So this game, it's very arbitrary what counts as percent.
I touched on that before. Yeah, it's so
Yeah.
confusing.
Because you also, at the very least, you would need something to enter Crystal Peak, because you either need
Oh, true.
you need the lantern to access it through the horizontal way, or you'd need dive, which is also a percent. Also, you'd have to kill a boss. So at the very least, it's the lesser of the 2%.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask
Hey,
for
squirrel.
some quiet
Oh.
when we're in the dark rooms.
No, that's fair.
I am deprived of my sense of sight, so I'm very much going off of memory and audio cues, and I forget what day it is a lot, so I know which one I'll be using.
I feel called out.
I mean, if superheroes have taught us anything, when you're deprived of one sense, all of the other ones are heightened.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think
Be
that's
fine.
true.
Listen.
Unfortunately, my sense of a skill issue is also heightened. All right, so this is a dark room, and believe it or not, it is dark and not very roomy. There should be one more, and then yump, and then yump, and then yump, and then one more spike pit. All right, so if you
Yep.
dunk in a dark room, you go back to the start just to stop you casually getting lost. But it also means we have to do it perfectly. Or we just go back to the start and feel sad, which I'm good enough at already. All right, there we go.
No.
But
Alright.
you know...
I'm gonna give you a
So
hug after this
I
one.
don't hit this spike pit. Yep. And then we climb up a wall here. And then we walk over Mr. Devout down there. He does 2 damage. We do not like him, so we just avoid him.
There's
Best
gonna-
way to deal with your
I'm
problems.
sure we'll see no more devouts in this entire run.
And then this is the bad dark room. This one is really hard. There's a lot of blind jumps, and there's these guys that just chase you around. Health,
Weevilines.
thankfully, isn't too important, so I'm going to be using fireballs to kill enemies with random patterns. All right, we got that. We fireballed too high, but we didn't die. If I get if I get hit by a spider here, I'm save quitting, because if I get knocked into spikes, I die. And we, Alright, I'm going to save quit back to the bench, because if I die there, I can't afford the stag, then I have to farm Geo. It's not a good, no.
So we kind of touched upon it earlier. When you die in this game, you leave behind your shade, and you have to both kill it to get access to the last third of your soul gauge, which fills up to 9 or 10 hits. Which you use a third of it to use the Vengeful Spirit that we unlocked first. So while it also holds all of your money hostage until you kill it. If you die again, you lose all of that money permanently.
I like to call him the Ice Cream Man because the jingle that plays at the start whenever you're around your shade, it sounds like an ice cream truck.
Look, I can see the logic.
Okay, look, am I wrong though? I always called him the Ice Cream Man in my casual playthrough.
She's gotta focus on the yaps.
Okay, I get it, you don't want to talk to me.
Right. One room. Now we're back to spicy, unhappy town, but on more health. And we have fireballs to just deal with our problems instead of avoiding them.
I wish I had a shotgun fireball. Sorry, chest shotgun. That's the.
There we go.
I'm sorry,
tired.
what's the context of this?
Oh,
Oh,
all right,
God.
we saved it. We saved it.
I'm gonna shut up.
This is not great. So I'm going to reset the room. So that just means that those flying, essentially,
Weevilings?
enemies, weevilings, they're not going to be
I know that.
active. So it means that we can walk past these two and just ignore them, which is pretty crucial because they are not easily like cycle-based or manipulable.
Manipulable?
We know control. All right, and we're through there. Cool.
Nice. Are we in the clear?
This up here, and then we're on to the last dark room and the second last hard part of this area.
Which you're used to at this point. All
Yeah,
skills.
this is fine. I mean, we also
I
do
don't
that
think it
last
is.
room in all skills.
Yeah, but from a totally different.
we also have
area.
dash and wings and C dash and like general ability to do anything.
And like literally everything.
I don't need your logic. You'll be fine.
Copium.
Okay, we're nearly through. We are at
No.
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. So one of the thing is breakable floors will persist. So we've broken a floor that we normally use as a safety. So unsafety. It's fine.
Safety.
Sapient.
Yeah, that's
safe
it.
and-
So
sorry.
it's this really awkward timing on when we wall cling, when we pogo type thing. I'm going to just get it. Forehead.
Yeah. Just sounds like a skill
Alright,
issue.
we're here, and then I drop, pogo, there we go. And then 1, 2, wall, jump, and then this will be broken, small jump, pogo, Okay, that's one of those broken floors. Alright, and then
Broken
here,
like this game, haha.
cool. And then I had to do
That
those
deserves a
pogos
clap.
low. One more. Alright, if I
Oh.
need this.
Oh.
Alright, there we go.
Yeah, but you did all the dark rooms. That's what we're clapping for.
Well, that would have been a terrible way to find out I didn't have the SOCD cleaner on.
Sorry, elaborate?
Oh, no.
So the SOCD cleaner basically means that if I'm holding left and tap right, I start going right instead of it just cancelling out my inputs.
Oh, yeah.
It's something Celeste does natively, but I don't play a good game apparently.
Okay, that's the first
Average
good
PC
right
game
thing
speedrunners
you've
be
said
like.
this entire time. I love how you called me out even though we share top runners.
And yeah, so this is the stag. We just unlocked one and then traveled back to that one we got earlier. Now we can't bench here, but I'm on 3 health and like this is very basic areas. I can basically guarantee I won't die here. This is the easiest split in low percent.
Do we benchwalk
This-
that to Village stag?
Beg your pardon?
Do we
There's no
bench walk back to Village Stag? Or?
That's not a bench. There's no
Oh.
bench there. We
Oh,
go
you're
back to
right.
Hot Springs.
Okay.
So why we're doing all this getting tram pass and that is to use these trams, and we're going to use both of them. So we use this one now to just avoid, to get to Dreamnail, and then we use the other one to get to the City of Tears, which is kind of a relatively late game area, and you can get at it from the left or the right. To get at it from the left, you need the City Crest, which you get from killing the first boss we fought, which we can't do because it's a percent. And then the other way in normally in like any percent is the Shade Skip to Blue Lake, but we can't do that because that involves killing Grozmother, and we can't kill Grozmother because she is also a percent despite being an absolute cakewalk. So we get to do all this instead, which is much harder and just horrible.
Dashless Dreamplat sounds terrible.
Yeah, this is really finicky because the platforms kind of appear while you're in midair. So you kind of just need to memorize like a sequence of long and short jumps, but you have enough time to react that even if you mess up slightly, you can fix it. And if you dunk, you just lose 7 seconds. You don't have to take damage and no risk of death or anything.
Not 6 minutes.
Yeah. So I'm going to just catch my breath a second because we have a bit of, this, then a moderately annoying movement section. Then we have the Watch Night fight, which is, like, it's the hardest main board run fight done, I think. At least I certainly believe so. To the point that any percent Watcher Knights with dash and a spell that does a third more damage and can hit multiple times is still considered a massive roadblock for beginners. Like to the point that over 90% of your practice starting out is often on Watcher Knights. So without dash and without any source of invincibility or iframes, the Watcher Knight fight is terrifying because there will be two alive at once for most of the fight, and if one decides to do a bounce attack and one does a roll attack, they've just covered like the entire screen, and the moving towards you is this just spiky wall of sadness. So we have to put a lot of effort into monitoring where both knights are and positioning ourselves in such a way that we maximize the odds of not having that happen. So slightly influencing what attacks they do, when they attack, all that kind of thing. It's an absolute art form, and it is one of, along with the 6-minute time loss for messing up, the reasons that this category isn't really considered marathon viable. But I've never let that stop me.
I mean, we're here anyway.
Yeah.
Also, I think that this... do you think that this walk to city might be a good spot for a couple donations?
Yeah, I was about to say something.
Absolutely. You've got 30 seconds?
On a timer, yeah.
We do have some donations. We have $55 from Kate Latte. Let's go, Somni. Please put this towards Mimi for Super Monkey Ball. And that actually puts Mimi in the lead at $55, Gone at $50. Also, I just wanted to let Ken know that the moment you started talking about patches, you somehow single-handedly angered the entirety of May's Discord.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Wait,
Wonderful.
I'm sorry, I missed that. I can't hear the host.
I angered a lot of people because I said 1, 2, 2 was better, because it is.
I don't disagree with you.
Look, it lets me get dash slash in all skills, and that's early, and that's what matters.
I like it because inventory drops.
Look, that too.
Yeah. Shout out to my Discord. Shout out to the Hollow Knight community as a whole.
Shout out
like
to
I say,
Shout
I
out to
can't
your
really,
Discord, the entirety of the Hollow Knight community.
the people in that server that aren't me do far more to make it an enjoyable place than my... all right. Again, you'll notice a lot of these areas aren't designed to not have dash. It just makes so many trivial things just suck.
My personal shout out is shout out to all the 1221 believers.
I mean, it's what you run on. It's what you run any percent on. It must be good. Surely. That's how that works, right?
I love the community.
Right.
This room was completely changed in current patch. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so part of the optimization is they just cut some rooms in half because they realized they got a little carried away with what they counted as one room. We just hit a lever here, and that just lets us backtrack later on far more efficiently because we're going to be selling a bunch of relics for money. And then we use the money to buy the lantern, and then we use the lantern to do the dark rooms, and then we do the dark rooms to get...
This is funny.
All right, and this is a lever skip we just did there, so to hit that lever through the floor, and then we're just trying to get through here.
Nice.
Yeah. And that lever
Good
skip,
improv.
And now you're in the dark. That's not helpful. So
They've been a bully.
That
the
lever
downside to the lever skip is we then have to do the end there completely in the dark because the lighting trigger doesn't activate. So it's not even the dark room where you have this tiny little forgiveness circle. It's just all dark.
But it does save time, and the lever skip is also only available on patch 1221.
Forgiveness circle is what I like to call my friend group.
All right, we're just breaking the chandelier here, which means we only fight 5 Watcher Knights instead of 6. For those that suffered casually and are just discovering that, I'm sorry for your loss.
I thankfully had a friend walking me through that, so I knew after I just decked it.
I'm going to ask for silence again, just because I need to hear them off screen.
Nice.
And now 2 at once, because the first one was too easy, apparently.
Thank you, Team Cherry.
Alright, nice. This is... I'm going to stop talking. I was about to say it's going...
Yeah, you just stop.
Please don't jinx it. Somni self-sabotage.
Okay. We're... Again, not in a not jinxing kind of way.
You're not going to say anything.
Well.
Please, just don't stop talking.
The non-jinxing kind of way is to not say a damn word.
Exactly.
I thought you rolled. Okay.
Okay, greedy. Oh my god, first try!
Okay.
So for anyone
so now's a great time to tell you lot that I didn't take the Watcher's safety vents either.
Oh
realized.
I noticed that. I
hate you.
I wasn't gonna say anything unless you died.
I hate you so much.
All right, we have about 2 minutes of downtime. If you have any donos.
Yeah, sure do. We have $5 from Rupee Master. Love Hollow Knight. Primal Aspids are my favorite.
Oh, and then that's a bad take.
Yeah. Primal Aspids. Honestly, no, Rupee's right for that one. Primal Aspids are fine because they're not crystal hunters and they're not developed.
Oh my god! Far out. I'm not going to let you live that one down.
All right, so as I've just been doing all of this hard platforming, I've used up all of my just gaming ability.
All of your brain cells.
And missed the basic stuff, apparently, that people do casually. All right.
We also, sorry, we interrupted. There's still plenty more cutscene if you want to read more donations.
Yeah, no, I was going to steal a bit from like GDQ ALTTV Soulless and be like, since we've already seen this part, can I read some donations? But anyway, we have a $248 donation from Old Mate Breno.
Ooh.
I just felt like the donor should be a nice round number. And it sure is. We've just hit $5,000.
Wow. Yeah, thank you for that. And 5,000. Jeez.
My god. Well,
And yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone that's helped contribute, because that is, the cause we're doing it for, and it's, what makes this all possible. I know I've had an amazing weekend, and so have so many others that I've been able to meet and talk to. So, yeah, thank you for that. And was there one more, or?
Yeah, well, we're just coming up on the end of the next run's incentive, because I imagine it would close at the beginning of the run. Spyro 2 Spyro's Color is currently winning with yellow, $106. Black is coming second with $46. Green is $34, and purple is dead last, $2.9. So if you'd like to select the right color, green Spyro, please donate. But otherwise, you can donate for whatever you want.
Fun
Good
fact,
cause.
did you know that Spyro was originally green, but they had to change it because he blended in too much with the grass?
Spyro will never be green. A Spyro when he's green.
That's incorrect. He was originally green, and then they changed it so that he was green.
Wait, wait, was he actually green originally?
Look, if
I
we
feel like I just got.
if we say it enough, maybe she'll believe us.
I feel like this is a gullible moment, and I don't think I appreciate
It
that.
is.
When I spread misinformation over the internet.
Also, Tech, I can't hear host. I cannot hear host.
All right. We are just going to talk to our boy Relic Seeker Lem. He's the person that we're going to be throwing the 2 Hello Nest seals we picked up at, and he will pay us 450 of the Geo, which is the game's currency you see in the top left, each to take them off our hands. And we
sorry.
just need to talk to him in that lever.
You good? I love all of these things you're getting first try, and then it's like, oh, let's just jump up to Lurian, or oh, let's get off this elevator. No, that's it's too hard.
I think it's the keyboard.
Your own personal keyboard that you brought to this.
Don't blame Lim for this. Don't blame Lim.
Wow.
No, okay, no, that's totally valid. Yeah.
All right. So we're all dollared up. We're going to go and beat up one more person for their money, and then we are good to buy that lantern we talked about earlier.
Also,
and
every single time I hear Hello Nest seal, I just think of that one Scurry video of just handing Lem actual seals.
that one Scurry video. Oh, low true ending.
Oh, we don't want to talk. We're not talking about low TE.
So that's another community joke. So every time you run low percent, you get people going, "Is that the 45-hour run?" Because one of the game's big speedrunners and content creators made a video about a low percent true ending run, which is like 50 minutes long of just farming birds. Sorry, 50 hours.
Big difference there.
Hey,
Slightly.
also, it's no longer farming birds anymore. It's farming bees.
Yeah. I think there's a missed opportunity there. Like, you could have made a low percent true ending history of video called the birds and the bees, since they're the two enemies that you farm in the old and new route.
You know what else was a missed opportunity?
Making Hollow Knight with built-in SOCD cleaning.
The jump to Lurian.
I'm never gonna let you live that down.
And
That's
for
hilarious.
those that were paying attention, the gorgeous
Nice.
husk there gave a nice amount of geo, and that just means that we have everything we need for the rest of the run. Geo-wise, at least, we still have a item and an ability and a dreamer, 2 dreamers left. So the reason we killed Watcher Knights was to get Lurian. And Lurian, for those that haven't played the game, is one of the 3 dreamers. And they're essentially 3 story characters that you need to kill or interact with. And in order to unlock the Black Egg Temple, the game's final area, and the final boss. And then we kill the final boss, and we beat the game, because that's how bosses work.
You're just giving them really a lot of pats, and they're just a little bit too socially awkward,
Right.
so they leave.
I'm going to ignore it.
What I do at every
make this
party.
a co-op run.
Oh yeah, what's up?
For Blue Lake, I'm going to get you to hold my A key.
Deal.
This is the hardest room in the game, so I'm going to
Alright.
get you to take over, and we can, maybe we can get through it with the power of teamwork.
This is gonna be the first
If we could get some silence, this is gonna take some.
of course.
Oh, I missed a jump. That's actually bad.
Oh no.
All right.
Yeah, make up for it.
So yeah, we don't want to be in the water because our swim speed is slower than our normal speed.
Wait.
But also
Stop missing jumps!
we don't have dash.
First
we don't
try.
make it that much
First
faster.
try. Let's go.
All right, and now
Hardest
we're
part of the
going
run.
to not
Easily.
bench here. Thank me.
Aren't you
All
going to
right.
go and get Shaman Stone?
Unfortunately not. It is tempting on runs where you die to watchers and you're like, where were you when I needed you? But no.
For those who are unaware, Shaman Stone increases the power of your spells, and for VS, Vengeful Spirit, it makes it like a decent amount bigger and it deals a lot more damage. So you're able to
further knockback.
Yeah, you're able to double hit enemies, which increases your DPS largely.
We did actually get a triple on one of the Watcher Knights as they were rolling, which, yeah, we were able to hear, and that definitely helps with that fight.
Yeah, that's not meant to really be a thing.
Wait, what? Elaborate.
not
Watchers
without Shaman.
triple hits without Shaman is just very hard. To the point that it shouldn't happen, but it did.
Something you'll notice as well, now that we've collected one of the 3 Dreamers, one of the alternatives also being picking up the double jump ability, but that won't happen in this run. The crossroads are now infected. Some passages are a little bit blocked off, which is why we didn't go the way we could, faster way we could have gone. And most of the enemies have been powered up in a certain way. Some of them will get an extra attack upon death that deals double damage, and just becomes a lot more aggressive. Kind of just to kind of scale up the game as you're meant to get Dreamers significantly later than what 40 minutes in.
This next room is the most FPS affected room in the game, I think. It is nigh unplayable above about 300 FPS, which is why we capped to 250.
And you
Okay.
played it at 600.
So those flying enemies are really obnoxious to deal with at the best of times. So to have got that at 690 FPS or whatever it was, look, I've been blessed this run, and I don't know why.
You're oscillating between like 720 and 590.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
weird.
also oscillating between like top 1 and top 1,000 gameplay, and we don't have 1,000 runners. It is an experience, and we're now coming up on the Crystal Peak area, which is heavily cycle-based. This room in any percent we would do a trick called Cogax, named after Axe to You, but we can't do that here because dash just makes it really inconsistent, and I'm not about that life.
Wait, that was named after Axe? I thought it was because it was an axe.
No, it's because it was named after Axe, trust me.
I
Trust.
hate you.
Me when I spread misinformation on you.
I'm going to cry. I'm being bullied on
How much can we
the couch.
gaslight Layla
I'm
live
the-
on Twitch?
I'm the most gullible individual here. Leave me be. This is bullying.
This room also sucks without dash. You'll notice that's a common theme. This game, the first area or so was made with Dashant in mind, and then that's it. So I'm going to have to grab some soul after a quick damage tank here. Crap, I'm not going to make that cycle. There we go. And then we're going to bully this boy for 7 hits.
He's just a little guy.
Nope. There we go.
Just a little Scrimblow.
Little scream.
So I'm going to heal 1, but I actually need soul in the last room because there is a cycle, there is a jump that we can't make otherwise. And this whole room, if you play casually, you know there's the flipping platforms and the lasers, but most of them aren't easily accessed from one to the other with a jump. So we're going to have to do some gameplay, which is not my forte, but we shall try.
Says the one that has first tried the things in this run that...
I also second tried several jumps.
You also missed the jump to Lurian.
I was about to say, I think Somni's description is pretty on par. Also, cool fireball skip. This fireball
There we go,
skip is so cool. I've always thought it's one of the coolest fireball skips in the game.
I normally don't do this, but I am going to grab some soul here. I can use a fireball to slightly affect the flippy platform cycles. if I get on a bad cycle.
And we're going to go for underplat, totally. Totally in a dashless category.
100%.
Yeah, I actually lapped out dashless underplat, and it's not possible at all. I thought with like full soul maybe.
Oh,
all right, we've got the bad thing.
Oh no.
Yeah, this is the problem with the cycles without a dash.
So that's why we took that fireball, because you need to be at the right spot in the cycle to jump, but then the cycle flipping is about the same length as the laser, so that just lets us stall out the flipping, and we're fine.
Do you think fireball-less low percent is possible?
So there's a thing called low percent spell-less dashless, which does that.
Oh
that
my
does
God.
the like 7 nested shade skips. So you swap the percent for fireball with the percent for Grozmother. It is about 20 minutes optimally slower and far, 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 keep saying far for the rest of my run, harder. Like to the point that I think 1 or 2 people have done runs of it, and they were like 2 hours long sort of thing, because it was much more a challenge run than a speed run. I love it. Like, I think it's really cool as a like concept, just pushing the tech of the game as far as possible, but it is never going to be in a marathon.
Also, what do you mean we don't have dash? Look, we can dash.
Yeah, it's super.
Yeah, that's one real super dash there, mate.
That is FPS. Normally, it can't accelerate that fast. That one's not even like spreading this information on the internet to make myself look good. That's just Reaver Tuner, please.
I think that is huge copium.
Nice. So what you saw ins0mnia do there, managed to latch onto one of the walls before she hit the acid pool beneath her, and then could use the crystal dash to get to the other side, where there's still enough of a platform to be able to latch onto and jump off of without having to fall into the acid. Do we do
Takes
QGA?
hands off
Oh no, you don't need
No.
to do QGA.
No, we just go to the stag.
Yeah, you just go to the stag.
If we weren't like, worried about estimate, that might be like a donation incentive or something. Some other time I do low percent in the marathon. It's never happening. It would also imply that I would remember the incentive.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting until Beast in for a reason. We'll make sure.
Oh
Yeah.
god,
All right.
without
So this
someone
is
to say.
Umu, the RNG jellyfish. This
Ooh.
is just terrible. In any percent, you need a 2 cycle, but it just isn't, like, it's very hard. And it saves like 20 seconds, which for a game as optimized as Hollow Knight is like easily world record or PB or not. And yeah, we're going to try and 3 cycle. I doubt it, because I am not a gamer and I can barely count to 3 half the time, let alone 3 cycle. We've gotten a good pattern so far. Umu can randomly do extra attacks or not.
Yeah, without the extra knockback from Shaman Stone that you'd normally expect in either A, a casual playthrough, or B, any percent. Getting extra hits on Umu is going to be...
Oh my god.
Bugger.
Please don't nice save. Please don't die to Umu.
Yeah.
So sorry, I missed what we were talking. So is 2 cycle possible?
No. 3 cycle is possible. You have some wiggle room, but barely any. It basically requires you to do the any percent cycle 3 times, but only with one of the 3 doubling, because the different hitbox size makes it far less consistent.
Why is it going down?
Alright, that was kind of a soul collection cycle, but we should be able to do some good damage the next one. I'm sorry to all the low percent runners watching this. I'm setting the bar on the floor for you. That was an extra effort.
Okay, please don't die.
Oh my god.
I don't have soul.
Oh no.
Alright, I have soul. We have a heal.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay,
You're good. You're
okay.
good.
I am still a wombo combo away from death, and like, that's very easy.
Yeah, but you've nailed all the really hard things, so you'll be fine.
No, that's the problem. This is an easy thing, which means I'm going to mess it up. Stop.
Thank God.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
We
that's a clap.
have one more It's not a boss, but it's like basically the boss. So this is our second Dreamer, and the third one is unique in that it's not guarded by a boss. It's a particularly difficult platforming / enemy section.
Okay, can you get the jump this time?
Doubt.
$20 says you don't.
Do we have a donation?
We do actually. We have $25 from Manic Jamie. Thank you, Insomnia, for being the best low percent runner that misses basic movement and the best person I've ever met. Hashtag save the grub. Hashtag kill the miler. Hashtag underplat or bust.
Thank you, Jamie. And was there any else?
So we just did get Green Spyro pulling ahead with $80 from Cratesmith, requesting green for the Spyro 2 donation incentive, and also $2.42 from the Joker that says, "I'm the Joker, baby." That's like the best impression I can do.
All right. Yeah, let's go Green Spyro.
Please never say that again.
And yeah, thank you again, Jamie.
Like you can talk.
Okay, look. Okay, at least I run a good speed game.
Hey, Metroid Dread's pretty cool.
What? I never said anything about Dread.
But you applied it.
Yeah.
What? No. In what way was that implied?
Because I made a comment on you and you're like, at least I run a good speed game. Anyway.
Anyway,
Oh, I
we're
didn't-
playing
okay.
Hollow Knight here if you guys are done.
I love that you, like, I wasn't even involved in that. You started the Discord between Layla and Dread. I just had to explain it.
I thought you only read HK.
All right, so we're coming up to, the Beast End now. We have a little bit of movement, but this is, like, very basic. We're going to be using a stag station to get to the one that we got earlier. So this is why we did that Dark Deep Nest at the start. It's because we're already in the neighborhood getting tram pass, so the prevailing logic / what's optimal is we just do Dark Deep Nest then and get it. Otherwise, we would just be going now, continuing on from, like, this room, and getting the normal way through there, but we'd have lanterns, so, you know, happy. But yeah, it's just not worth it. It's just faster to do this. I am going to take a... No, I'm not going to take a safety bench.
Well, yeah, there's a bench in Beast End. Like,
There's a hard save.
No, but there's a bench. It's
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
safe. And, like, why would you need any other bench if you're just going to bench when you get to the Beast End?
Yeah, we have benches at home. The
Yeah.
benches at home.
Also,
So...
does the audio glitch work here?
Wait, I'm not going to have health, though, because that doesn't reach.
Yeah, no, you sure won't.
This is the last time I listened to you. This is a scam.
You're the one. You already had made the decision.
I mean, your health will
Yeah,
be,
but
it's your
you're
bench.
enabling. All right.
And?
So this is the bench at home. It's not
Yes.
great. So it doesn't refill our health. It traps us in the area, and it moves us to the scary place. If you have arachnophobia, this is the other look away now area. If you don't, maybe look away anyway when I'm fighting the Devouts. It's not pretty.
It does do one thing that a bench does. It
Yeah.
gives you a hard save.
True.
So give
Which
you the
means that
benefits
there's
of it.
just no escape.
Yeah, exactly.
Back up. That's not backing up, bestie.
oh.
Back up.
Bestie. I would not call the Devouts bestie.
So there's
I
this
would.
thing called Devout Skip, but it needs to back up, which we've just not gotten.
Please.
So
please.
this is terrifying.
Heal first.
It's kind of why low percent sucks, because you need the Devout to back up to Devout Skip, and it just saves like 10 seconds optimally.
By the way, you are still one hit from death.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I
Called it.
But we have 5 health now. It's a death walk.
and 0 soul.
Yeah, but we just...
I mean, at
bonk
least
the
you don't need
face.
Geo anymore because you already have the
Also,
stat.
like, with 5 health, I can just damage tank.
Yeah,
like,
so this
the
is
body.
the shade. Well, that was the shade.
Oh, back up.
The ice cream man.
You suck.
All right, and what about the Devout?
I'm gonna... Oh, yes, hang on. There's a... Air quotes back up. If you come too far forward, I can...
He is not backed up like
Just
more
kill
than
it.
once.
Oh, crap. I was trying to jump it. Jumps are hard. All right, now, yes.
Please
There
don't.
we
Thank
go.
God.
That's Devout Skip. So it requires it to back up. I think you can do it without, but I'm not sure if that's a thing without dash, or at least that it's consistent. And it's, like I said, a big part of why low percent sucks to do as an optimized speedrun because it's at the end of the run, it's hard, and the rest of the run is also hard, and watches can just kill you. Like, I make a lot of the basic stuff look hard, but I assure you watches can still just kill you.
Also,
if you
yes,
get a bad enough pattern.
I have a question.
You may speak to the class.
Yeah.
If Jamie's saying save the grub,
Save
is
it,
that
save it,
to
save it,
free
save
it or is that to leave it?
This is the anti-last answer.
Save it. Yes!
I owed you all that from
go.
last.
No, didn't
from,
you? No,
sorry, from
no, you
ASM,
saved it
yeah.
last time.
I did.
I was gonna say you leave it this time, and you did it before we could actually. I finished asking the question.
I mean, you still owe Jamie.
I mean, I normally abandon
Hashtag
it.
save the grub.
All right, here we go. This one we can't skip, but it means I can just focus on doing the damage cycle. Ooh, I wasn't meant to get hit
So
there.
why do we not do the damage cycle on the first about?
Because if it just backs up straight away, then you're done, and you don't have soul.
And you
'cause
don't
won't
have
go in
health.
with full soul.
You don't have health for
And
damage.
yeah,
chunking
if
now,
you mess up, you don't have health. Like, there's just a lot of little things, but
God, I was so hoping you'd.
I was really hoping.
All right. For the third time, this would be a fantastic
2
time
out
for
of
some
3
donations.
on the Dreamer jumps. That's a passing grade.
Well,
Well, just a reminder that as this run comes to a close, we are still in the lead with green. The correct choice, by the way, for Spyro's color and Spyro 2. Green at $114, yellow at $105, black at $46, and purple, the wrong choice, at $2.90.
that's so rude.
It's not rude, it's correct.
All right, we're now coming up to the Hollow Knight fight. I'm just going to use this last little bit of downtime as a chance to just, properly thank everyone that's made this run and my continued interest in speedrunning possible. So that includes, obviously, the Hollow Knight community, both runners and those sort of adjacent to it, as well as all of the people that I've met through ASM earlier in the year, which is why I'm here, because otherwise I normally wouldn't be flying out to another state for a speedrun convention, but after that it was a very easy choice to make. So yeah, thank you for all that. Thank you to my couch as well. Ken and Layla, both people who I met through ASM or PAX in some capacity. So thank you all for that.
Both people who didn't get to introduce themselves at the start of the run.
It doesn't matter. We've both been on stage before.
It's low
Yeah.
They
percent.
know who we
Introductions are a percent. We unfortunately didn't get Mendabug, which is a 2% chance in the well.
Run
it's
invalid.
very important.
Yay. Superman.
I've not seen this before. What on earth?
So for some reason that cutscene trigger will preserve your animation and momentum, so we're doing the Superman. Unfortunately, it goes away on a transition. If you could fight THK like that, it would be just done every marathon ever. It's incredible.
My favorite is you can also do that with the Hurricane Slash, so your knight is just perpetually spinning in a circle.
Did just the Steam friend just playing come up on stream, by the way?
Oh, probably, absolutely.
Yeah, if so,
I
shout
think
outs
so.
to that guy.
Asti's outed.
Yeah. I hope he's having a good time.
What was he playing?
Don't know, but it wasn't watching the stream, so
Shame.
Asti has a friend list to change when he... All right,
this is the Hollow Knight.
Yeah, this is the Hollow Knight. Ironically, the second easiest boss we fight in the run after the False Knight, who we don't even finish fighting. Because on this patch, he kind of doesn't do much. Like, yeah, I'm getting hit, but he just dies. On current patch, it's a whole nother story. He's just so much faster, and he has attacks that do double damage. It's just terrible. But yeah, this patch, he's very manageable, but he's fun. There's enough that, it's still skill-based in that, but you're not going to just randomly lose runs to it. Unless I mess up bad enough.
And that's
So-
another reason why 1221 is just better.
Wait, so I've only ever played current patch. In what way is he faster? Because he looks the same to me.
All of his attack windups are faster, to the point that if he does triple slash twice in a row in any percent on current patch. Am I inside? No, okay. I thought that was the long screen for a second.
Shoutouts to Stan.
Oh no. So you want to be on the left side for this because it's got a little like mostly safe spot. Alright, just don't take 2 damage.
It's a good thing they don't do double damage in this patch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks so nice. Please don't die.
Okay, now you can die.
Eek.
Looks like you had some feedback on that you can die bit. Alright, we're all
Any
topped
moment
up
now.
on health. We should get a self-stab, or if we had that already. No,
Yeah,
it's self-stab.
Yeah, we've had a few.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Literally had just done it after you
What?
had said it.
I mean,
maybe
it
we could get
can
a-
self-stab before the self-stab phase,
Can it?
just due to attack queuing.
Yeah, no, it hasn't been the self-step
Alright,
phase.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
final.
yeah.
So, at the moment, THK kind of feels like I do when I get out in the bed in the morning. All of its like stuff's a lot slower, but it was tiny. Alright, time will be coming up in about 22 seconds.
18, 17.
Point count. And yeah, thanks again everyone, and that was Hollow Knight low percent done in a little too long probably. Oh no!
Oh my god!
Hang on, hang on.
And
Time. Underestimate
My
by
God.
11 seconds.
Underestimate.
marathon unsafe run. My god.
It turns out not messing up the thing that would waste you 6 minutes.
The
Did pretty
thing
good.
implying there
Makes
was
it-
only one.
makes it marathon safe.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, Stan.
So yeah, I expect to see that at every marathon now. It's obviously viable. There was no pressure whatsoever.
Nope. Not at all.
Surely.
And yeah, thank you again to my couch. Thank you to Lim for hosting and giving me her keyboard. Thanks everyone, and good luck to our next runner as well. You won't be getting rid of me. I think I'm hosting that one. No, you're hosting.
Lim's hosting
I'm
that
just
one.
around. But yeah, good luck for that Spyro to Green Dragon.
Unfortunately, I have bad news.
No.
Someone, Nico has just sniped the incentive, $10. $10 to Yellow Spyro. Why? Spite. Just
Yellow.
spite.
No, I can agree with that.
It's a fire-breathing lemon.
But I'm colorblind.
All right. Yeah, we're going to make ourselves scarce, and thank you, everyone.